Hey, good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. And as usual, every Sunday morning, we do our week NFL or football, let's just say football 2020 preview. Um, this is week 7. And usually what we do is we go down the schedule of all the week's games, upcoming games, and, give our opinion about the games. And we usually do the schedule according to uh, one of the four-letter networks. And the first game up the bat on their schedule is the Cowboys visiting the Washington football team. Uh, any thoughts, gentlemen?
The Cowboys don't win this game, man. Like if the Cowboys don't win this game, like I said before, like I said 2 weeks ago, I will never go against Dwayne and Q when it comes to the Cowboys. But I don't want to say there's no way they're not going to win this game, but they should win this game. I'm saying like the Cowboys aren't good, but the Redskins are terrible. They're terrible. There's no way. Like I don't. Like I'm just gonna wait to see what y'all say, and I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna say that they should win this game.
I'll
If
go.
we
I,
don't,
I'll go before Dwayne goes. Usually Dwayne will go before me, but I'll go before Dwayne goes. Unless unless the Washington football team has became the new CVS or the new drug fair where a person can go get a prescription. There is absolutely no way I think the Dallas Cowboys can beat the Washington football team today. Based off of Dallas's lines are hideous. Washington at least has a great defensive line. Dallas cannot get a pass rush against any team. Dallas's offensive line, I can give you the offensive line of the Seton Hall Pirates and name those guys. Quick, and I give you the offensive line of the Cowboys.
I can tell you who's starting on the Cowboy line today.
I know you know who's starting, sir.
Okay.
I just don't see. I just don't see the Cowboys being able to win this game. I mean, when you look at the mistakes that they do, the self-inflicted mistakes, the lack of understanding when it comes from a play calling perspective of realizing what's the strength of your roster and what you need to do to protect your players. I just don't see Dallas winning. I'm just being honest. I would be happy as a Cowboy fan for them to win, but this preview and our review at night is not based on being a fan. It's based on what I see, and I just Ron Rivera does not coach that team to put them in position to lose. I can't say that about all the coaches on the Cowboy staff, and I'll let you guys take it away from there, Dwayne and Pat.
Pat can go ahead.
I still can't hear Pat. I don't know what's going on.
Well, here's the deal. This game is in Washington. It's on natural grass. The weather forecast is 47 degrees and 75% chance of rain. It's raining at FedEx Field right now. You have a situation where you have Chase Young, you have Sweat, you have Payne, you have Allen all along that Washington defensive front. And the Cowboys are starting Cam Irvin, Connor Williams, Tyler Badich,
I'll be right back.
Connor McGovern, and Terrence Steele at offensive line. They better off bagging groceries at Food Lion down there. I'm sorry, at Giant or Safeway. There's no Food Lions in Maryland. There's a Giant and there's a Safeway. So offensive line is better off bagging groceries today. Zeke Elliott has fumbling issues. I got the jersey on today. I love Zeke. He got fumbling issues. It's wet today. Hopefully he don't have them damn sleeves on his arms. And Andy Dalton has to get rid of the ball quicker. Can't hold the ball. The pressure's going to be coming. Defensively, I don't know what to expect from the Dallas Cowboys. I know that they got Randy Gregory coming back. Sean Lee is a game-time decision. He may play today. But with the way that the weather is and the way that this team is on the road, I think Washington wins this one 21-20.
Pat. Still can't hear you, Pat. So Anthony, You
Word.
got me and Dwayne
Can you hear
both.
me?
Both. Yeah, now we can hear you, Pat.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. Now we can.
Wi-Fi
What
was
I
a struggle this
think?
morning, man. It's a struggle.
I'm just when it comes to the Cowboys, I'm my new policy is to agree with y'all. so, so whatever y'all say, that's what I'm going with.
Well, we're gonna move right along because there's nothing else to say about this game.
Yeah, it's not enough said.
Next game is the Lions and the Falcons.
You just don't know what you're going to get from the Atlanta Falcons the Detroit Lions from week to week. I think the Falcons came out spirited for interim head coach Raheem Morris last week. They just look different. The game is in Atlanta. I think this could turn into a little bit of a shootout, but I'll take the Lions today in a close one.
Anthony, what do you think about that game?
I think I'm taking the Lions too. It'll be a close one. Like I said, it depends on which version of the Atlanta Falcons show up. Like Dwayne said, you get sometimes they look like world beaters, and sometimes they look like the worst team on the field. So, and then everything's in flux, and you got people with trade talks and stuff like that. They're talking about maybe getting rid of Julio and Matt Ryan, and so it depends on what day it is, but in this game, like I said, I got to take the Lions too. I think it'll be close, but because like the same way you're not going to get, the Lions team's not consistent. You never know what kind of Matt Stafford you're going to get either. So,
Anthony, the word is that your team might be sniffing around for Matt Ryan. What's going on with that?
Hey man, I put it like this. Like I said, I was saying before, like Jimmy Garoppolo got us to a Super Bowl, but
no, sir. On this show, his name is Porn Star Jimmy.
Porn Star Jimmy.
Okay, all right. So Porn Star Jimmy got us to a Super Bowl, right? But as 49er fans, we all know that he's not Kyle Shanahan's type of quarterback. Kyle Shanahan wants a quarterback that can do all the things Kyle Shanahan wants to do. Like that last game last week, he schemed a lot of that. He schemed for Jimmy Garoppolo. Easy throws, let Debo and Ayuk and Kittle do all the work and stuff like that. He would love a Matt Ryan. Like if they let him pull the trigger on and said, "Fuck it, we can go switch for switch," because the money's the same. And I think he would prefer a Matt Ryan quarterback. So I wouldn't be surprised if like he came available. They would just be like, they'd be like, "Fuck it," like let's trade it because we can get out of Garoppolo's contract this year. And not like lose any significant money. So,
what do you think, Pat, about that game?
The Lions game?
Yeah, Lions Falcons.
I like the Lions. I think Swift is actually pretty nice. I think he.
I noticed your hat this week, Pat.
What's up?
I noticed your hat this week.
I just didn't feel like washing my face, man, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Monday Night Football this week.
So I'm gonna take the Lions. I think the Falcons might give a fighter's chance. I mean, if they start scoring, the Lions can't score with them. Excuse me. Next game.
Question, man.
Thank you.
Come on, man.
Next games we got Browns Bengals, fellas.
Listen, man. I mean, the Browns is 4-2, man. But they're an enigma. You just don't know, man. They don't trust their QB. I mean, I never known a 4-2 team that just don't trust their quarterback, man. And
they hate Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I mean, but Mayfield is 4-1 in his career against the Bengals. And I think they should win today. Long story short, I think the Browns beats the Bengals today.
That's the Battle of Ohio. That's the Battle of Ohio right there, man.
I've been doing. What's funny is this week I actually been doing a lot of stuff on the Brown stuff, like looking at a lot of stuff they doing going on their page. I think the Browns. Dwayne said perfectly. They're 4-2, but Stefanski has changed the culture. But I think they might need to make some moves. And I may sound crazy for a 4-2 team. They might need to trade Odell because it's Not saying the talent is not there. It's just too much of a sideshow when you're trying to trade the culture of your team.
Well,
There's too much going on. Like, even though, okay, you want to compare his antics and say, well, he's not doing nothing but what Tom Brady does. Tom Brady has invested. Tom Brady has gold to play with. He's got them trophies to play with. I get it. And I know that a lot of the three-letter networks always try to say, well, why he could do it and Brady couldn't do it. Like, at the end of the day, we can look for an angle with that. Odell is just one of those players that will take away from a team like that that's trying to change their culture. And like Dwayne said, and what we noticed, they don't trust Baker. And I think they need to cut bait now. And it might sound crazy.
No, it doesn't, because they hate him. They hate him. It's like
That star over my shoulder.
It's like take the limbo.
There it is. It's that star.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing that the 49ers are going through with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like they're 4-2. They got a good record on paper and stuff like that. But they know that Baker Mayfield ain't it. Like he's not it. Like he's not it. So
I'm gonna pick the Bengals to win.
I was gonna do that too, because like it's the Battle of Ohio, and Burrow's the Ohio kid. He's the Ohio boy. So 9 times out of 10, I even think Browns fans might be rooting for Burrow and stuff like that. Like, damn, I wish we had that quarterback. Like, it's like we wish we had him. So
shit, I wish I had Kay Adams looking at her on TV this morning.
And getting back to your point about about Odell, I think they do need to trade him, because like you saw his face last week. He had to, like, and I don't mean to curse, but he had like fuck this shit face.
Yeah, like, he was yearning for his kicking that. He was yearning for his kicking that last week. He was yearning for his kicking that last week.
Yeah, he was hot last week.
We're gonna move on from them, man.
Yeah, because they gotta move on.
This next game, y'all.
They gotta move on from Kay Adams right now. Jesus.
This next game, this next game is what I would consider, for those of us that grew up in the 80s and love run and play defense. This next game is the game of the year.
Oh, the Bills and the Jets?
No. The Steelers and the Titans.
Oh, man, you can't go to that one. You got to make that the last one.
It's on the list. No, it's on the list.
You got to make that the last one.
I can't skip over. I'm scrolling using one of the Latin networks schedule.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Steelers and the Titans.
It's going to be hard. That's going to be a hard one, man. You got the Ben Roethlisberger factor. Now you got Claypool. He's been playing well. He's their new stud weapon now. You ain't even heard too much of Juju, because Claypool putting up the numbers now. And then you have the Titans, who have a fresh off of Henry's 200-yard, 206 or whatever yard game.
It's funny that these two teams is playing each other. Dwayne, get it together.
And then
it's funny that these two teams playing each other, right, Anthony?
Yeah.
Because these two teams last week lost 2 Michigan Wolverine guys, right?
Come on, man. Why you doing that?
And both players mean so much to what they're doing.
Come on, man.
Easy. If you look at the Steelers, I don't know if a lot of people been watching them. The Steelers might have the fastest defense I've seen in years.
Oh, yeah.
They are fast, and they get to the ball. And now with Bush not being there, does their identity change? And then when you look at the Titans without Taylor Lewan, they play bully ball. And up until last year when he called himself out, he's been the best tackle I've seen. I mean, I have to be honest. He's been the best left tackle I've seen since he called himself out in the media and said, that game was on me. I got to play better. I played like doo-doo. He didn't need the media to do it or his team. He did it himself in his post game. And this guy has been playing like Anthony Munoz type of left tackle with that beast in the backfield.
Bengals, USC.
I'm just being honest. Taylor Lewan been playing. If you've been watching, he's been playing super all pro level football. So Dwayne.
Well, you see the hat, and he's a Michigan man. But here's the thing, man. Today, I got a little personal feeling on this game today. Okay. Well, I think there's two things. I think Derrick Henry is going to take the comments of ESPN's Ryan Clark to heart today. I don't know if you heard what Ryan Clark said about Derrick Henry on Friday. I think he lost his mind, talking about he only does what he does to DBs. You'll never see him do that to a linebacker or a defensive end, which I don't know what
I don't know what game he
Ryan.
was watching.
I don't know what Ryan Clark. I don't know what Ryan Clark been looking at. I don't know if it's that ESPN putting Kool-Aid in his veins, but Derrick Henry runs over everybody in his path. I don't care if you're a damn nose tackle. That boy is huge, man. You see Derrick Henry? But
in order to get to the third level, that means you run past the first and second level.
Today,
the first and second level.
Today, you know, I'm picking this game with my heart more than any knowledge. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers because of their right tackle, number 76, Chooks Okafor, a former Western Michigan Bronco, rode a boat. And it hurts me that one of my favorite Michigan players of all time, Devin Bush, won't be playing today. But the man that's replacing him is number 41, Robert Spillane, another member of that 2016 Western Michigan Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl Bronco team. So I'm rowing the boat today.
They put a lot of kids in the league.
Yes, sir. And I'm rowing the boat today with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's Jamari squad mates.
Yes, sir. Row the boat.
I have to take Tennessee only because they're at home.
You take them, and you'll be a loser today. All right.
Hey
Pat, can we hear you now?
He's having Wi-Fi issues.
I'm gonna rock with Tennessee though, man.
All right, so I'm the lone wolf right now. I'll howl like they do on NFL Network, but I won't.
I like Tennessee's game right now.
Our next game is a very interesting game. It is Matt Rule and his Carolina Panthers.
I knew you were going there.
Going into the New Orleans Saints.
Well, listen, I like the return of Teddy B to New Orleans today. You know, the Saints are missing wideouts, man. They have no Emmanuel Sanders today. Mike Thomas is out again. So, I mean, I know it's in, you know, the Superdome and all that. I don't know. I like Matt Rule. I say it all the time. I wanted him to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach, but that's history, so whatever. But I like the Panthers in the upset today.
Anthony.
I want to take the Panthers in the upset special, but I can't because Drew Brees still plays for the Saints. Even though he doesn't have Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, which are both big components of the game, I still think he'll find a way. Like he'll find a way. Like great quarterbacks always find a way to win games like this. And you know, I think I'm gonna say they're just gonna put it on Drew Brees' shoulders. Sean Payton's gonna put it on Drew Brees' shoulders and say, "Hey, man, just figure it out." I think it'll be close because they don't have the weapons, but I think the Saints will eke it out.
This is the game where I think the wheels fall off for the Saints this week, based off them rumor stories, and I believe the rumors are true. That they are dangling Michael Thomas out there. Michael Thomas, great receiver, worked hard. He's been an overachiever since he's been in the league, but I noticed that he's been getting a little snippy lately, and I think that he's going to. I think the Saints are going to unravel this week. I think I think Carolina's going to go in there, and they're going to show how Drew Brees doesn't have the arm strength that he once had. Yeah. And they're going to force them to try to throw long, and I don't think he can throw long like he used to. I just think Carolina is going to get him. I think New Orleans is really a team in trouble. And Dwayne made a forecast that New Orleans might be the team that may go after a Pacific quarterback that plays in Dallas. And I believe that we got to be very careful with Sean Payton because Sean Payton is a forward thinker when it comes to NFL rosters, and I think he might be gutting his franchise a little bit sooner than later. Definitely that offensive side of the ball.
It's a complete overhaul.
Yeah, because even with Kamara, as good as Kamara is and explosive he is with the ball in his hand, you can't give him the ball 25, 30 times a game.
If you remember, they tried to trade him earlier in the season.
Well, they're
They
gonna
made him available earlier.
Yeah, they're gonna reboot it. This is Drew Brees' 20. This is Drew Brees' 20th and last season. He's already signed on for his next career. You know, he's gonna be a analyst, and he's done 20 years, and he got his one Super Bowl. And come on, man, I think sometimes Sean Payton is a little disrespectful to Drew Brees. I mean, stop putting Taysom Hill in some of these games, man. Like, cut it out, man. Like, you got a Hall of Famer that's still getting it done, and you take him off you be having them splitting out wide for Taysom Hill. I just don't get it.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you said that, Dwayne. I just think that any team that does that to their starting quarterback, to me, and I'm not attacking the Eagles, but it's the truth. Any team that does that to their starting quarterback, I think it's just so disrespectful to their skill set.
Oh,
I mean, I don't need no other quarterback to come in and get a spark. If he's a good quarterback or a good runner with the ball, put his ass out at wide at a flanker somewhere. Move right along.
They disrespect Brees. They be putting Taysom Hill in on like first and second downs. I'm like, oh shit, they putting him in on like first down. Like,
next game is that game. I'm just gonna say I'm picking the Bills. We know who they playing.
This is Bills.
So sad. So sad. My brother loves that team, but so sad I could just go right past that team.
There's nothing. Only thing that's up there is to see when Gase gets fired. If they fire him, that's it. It's Gase watch now. That's it.
Packers,
and I'll be honest with you on that Gase watch. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I think a lot of that is going to depend on what happens with this presidential election. I think if Biden wins the election, Gase is going to get fired because Woody Johnson is part of the Trump administration. So
he's going to be mad as hell. He's going to want to get rid of
that. Yeah. But he hasn't really been paying attention. And he got his brother in charge, and his brother's not an NFL owner. He don't know what to do, man. But enough on that.
Packers, Texans.
Packers. Not a long discussion.
Packers. I don't even want to talk about that game. I mean, once you get past we're in week 7, and once you get to a certain point, sometimes teams don't bring intrigue to the game. And
I will say this.
I'm saying I feel bad for Deshaun, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn, fucked up what they doing to him.
Absolutely.
Well, one thing I can say is that our guy, I know all three of us love Chris Carter. Chris Carter said it best. He said, the NFL is the one sports franchise that is all about fit and scheme. And unfortunately for Deshaun, he took his money, which he was supposed to because he earned it. But sometimes you got to ask yourself what's around you, and is you in a stable organization. And the Texans is in flux. They're probably still trying to get an owner, which COVID probably hurt them with the ownership thing. And
I think going forward though, after this season, they'll have a gentleman, Will McClay, who will try to rebuild that organization, and we'll see what happens from there. That's why I keep trying to tell people. I think
bullshit doing to him.
I think you're gonna have a Will McClay, Matt Eberflus going forward in Houston.
If you have that in Houston, you won't have a problem. Buccaneers and the Raiders.
That's gonna be a good one.
First 4 o'clock game.
I'm tired of the whole Tom Brady and them jamming them down our throat. I mean, that's the 4 o'clock game they're giving us in New York. Let's just say this: if Brady was still in the Patriots uniform, the 4 o'clock game in New York would be 49ers Patriots. So the way this league goes, they're going to give you Tom Brady and the Cowboys. That's what these networks do. I just think with everything that went on with Las Vegas this week, with all their linemen being in quarantine and one of their linemen not being able to play, I just don't see how they beat the Bucs today.
Yeah. Well, there's storylines, like Dwayne said, there's storylines with the Patriots. I mean, Patriot South, Patriot South now, and they got the whole AB circus in there now. So
Yep.
they're gonna probably spend half the game talking about AB and what's gonna happen, and now they're gonna talk about how Tom Brady is probably one of the front runners again because now they got AB and
Yep.
and Godwin and what's the name of Mike and Mike I forget his name, Mike Davis or
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. So they got all of them, and Gronkowski. So we got to hear that for 3 hours. Like I said, I don't think I think the who are they playing again? I'm sorry.
They're playing the Raiders.
Yeah. But look, man, the Raiders, they look good against the Chiefs, which is probably, we can say, all of us would agree, that's the best team in the league right now. And Carr has a connection with Ruggs now. Ruggs has been looking good, and he helps their offense. Him and Darren Waller and all of them. I like them. I think they could beat old man Brady in a buck. So I'm gonna pick. It's my upset. I'm gonna pick the Raiders to win this game.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be
interesting
interesting because, like I said,
pick.
with their offensive line being so much in flux this week and not
Mhm.
practicing due to COVID, and now you're looking at Ndamukong Suh and the rebirth actually. I think it's going unnoticed in this league the way that JPP is playing this year.
Yeah, he's playing good.
For Tampa Bay, he's playing very well.
Monsters.
Yeah, so I worry about Derek Carr today against them.
One of the things that Dwayne, you just alluded to it, is I think that last week we finally, with all the hoopla and the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers is becoming that team that you like the players, but you don't want to root for them if that's not your team. But one thing last week that I noticed is down 10-0. We saw the Todd Bowles defense from Arizona. That defense, if Tom Brady could play with that defense, they'll walk to the Super Bowl because Todd Bowles had them guys flying on that field. And it's fun. It's funny when you have that, because Bowles is right there from Elizabeth, and everybody loves Bruce Arians. He's always been a player's coach. We know guys that played under Bruce Arians. They're very easy to root for, and they're easy to like from just a football standpoint. Even if quote unquote people don't like Brady or whatever, how could you not like other players on their teams? How could you not like Mike Evans? And even with the AB thing is that one thing that I respect about AB, and me and Dwayne spent a lot of time on him last year, and his train wreck is that AB put his chin down and shut up, and stayed out of social media and worked on AB. So going forward, I got to pick the Buccaneers this game just because what I seen last week out of Bowles defense, man.
You know what's gonna happen,
man?
I'm telling you, bro? The last pass Brady threw to AB was a touchdown. You remember that? The last pass he threw to him before he went out was a touchdown.
Yeah, it's hard for me to go against them guys.
I like the Raiders right now. I like them.
Raiders' strength, believe it or not, is their offensive line. With the COVID, it's going to be tricky how
that running back, man,
they're going to perform. Chiefs, Broncos.
Chiefs.
I'm very interested in this game today. I'm interested to see how they incorporate Lev Bell into the offense. I know this morning they were reporting that they said that he's going to actually split reps with the rookie running back. So the rookie running back had a big showing last week. So it's going to be interesting to see how they incorporate Lev Bell into this. I think one of the things you may see, I think a lot of some of the things you may see is them on the field at the same time together, with them putting Lev Bell in the slot because we know how he catches the ball. And damn, that's just what Pat Mahomes needed, another explosive weapon on that offense.
What do you guys think about what Brett Favre said about this signing?
What did
I
he
gotta
say?
be honest, I didn't hear what he said.
He said that they didn't need him, and the only reason why they got him basically is to help him get, and they're basically going to be forcing him the ball because they don't need him.
Okay, so I halfway understand what Brett Favre was saying. So, like, basically, Le'Veon Bell was in purgatory. He was in purgatory. He was in Jets He was in purgatory. I don't care how good of a running back you are, except unless your name is Frank Gore, you're not gonna look good with the Jets. He wanted to get out of. He wanted to get out of. Not Philly, Pittsburgh, because they didn't want to pay him, which is understandable. And he plays a position that's not premium anymore. It's running back, so you got to go with who's going to give you the biggest money at the time. He did his time. The Jets paid him 18, 20 something $million. He got that, off of them, and now he's going to a team that fits his skill set. So now he's on a 1 year show deal. They can't really afford to keep him long term. So yeah, it does help him out because like if he has a halfway decent showing with them and he helps them get to another Super Bowl, there's going to be teams calling for him next year, and they don't really need him because they have like Clyde Edwards and they have the other guy Damian Williams. So it's you got everybody forgets about him, but he had a big game in the Super Bowl last year. Like he basically put the nail in the coffin for us. Like what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he opted out for COVID.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been playing this year.
So I just say that it does, like Brett Favre, I guess the way he said it was kind of harsh, but it does make sense. He is going to help himself by being, on a marquee team, on a Super Bowl contending team.
One of the things I think the Chiefs, the last two games, I've noticed that they haven't really, which is good because for their in the long term, they haven't really been getting the explosive plays downfield, but they've been methodically getting the ball down the field. They just got to be tricky. I always try to tell people, no matter what the record is, you got to be careful of division rivals. And Denver seems to always be able to play well against certain teams. And I won't pick them like I picked the Raiders against the Chiefs that week, but I'll just say that I think it's going to be kind of close. Our next game, I think this is a make or break game for both teams. And it's the reason why the divisions they play in. And it's the 49ers and the Pats. I think that the 49ers is in a tough situation because the two teams that's ahead of them, three teams that's ahead of them. Woo! I didn't realize the 49ers was in fourth place in the division. Mm-hmm. I think that this is the problem, that they're in that division that's probably one of the toughest divisions in the league, and they're going against the coach who has one job to do, and that's to take away the number one option. And I also think that the Pats being in the AFC East and how Buffalo's playing and how Miami is coming along, this is a big game for them too as well. COVID and the rescheduling games, you could clearly see that has affected Pats' play. They haven't been able to generate touchdowns. They've been just kicking field goals. They was in a field goal game last week. So what do you guys think about this 49? Anthony, I'll come to you last. Dwayne, what do you think about this 49er Pat game?
I mean, it's interesting that this is the 49ers. This is what are we in? Week 7, right?
Yes.
This is their third trip to the East Coast, man. Like, they've had to travel to the East Coast a lot. But with all that being said, I think the 49ers do enough to win today in New England. I know they won't have Mozart this week. I think he's out. But I've always, and you know this, Q, I've always been a fan of McKinnon since he was back with the Vikings. I just love his game. I think he has a big game for the 49ers today against the Patriots. And I think porn star Jimmy does just enough for them to win today.
I mean, that's actually, Anthony. What people don't realize that we call him that, and that is a compliment. Trust
I
me.
know. I know.
Because
Man.
that thing he had on his shoulder, boy.
She was bad, man. Look, man, if you single, man, you ain't married, and you got all that money, man, you gotta live your life, man.
If you're gonna do it big, Jimmy.
Shit, man.
Listen, I ain't mad. That's for me that's a term of endearment.
Now, Anthony,
That's a
If
term
you look
of
like how he
endearment.
looks, man. If you look like how he looks and you got the money, man, hey.
It's a term
Anthony,
of endearment.
before
That
I come to you, Anthony, I'm gonna just say that I can't pick the winner of this game. I'm on the fence with this game.
Well, get off the fence, man. We don't allow that here. You gotta have a choice. Picking you on the fence.
He's gonna pick the Patriots. Just go ahead.
You pick
Honestly,
you
I
pick
can't-
against your
yeah,
Cowboys
yes.
every week, and they're gonna sit here and talk about you on the fence on this game.
Go ahead and
Straighten up.
go ahead and
Straighten up. Get
I
on
got
this.
Anthony, with that Mozart not playing,
Okay.
I gotta pick the Pats.
Okay. All right.
And the reason why I'm picking the Pats is because I believe that New England, what they're going to do is force porn star Jimmy to beat them.
Mhm.
And I don't think he's gonna be able to get the ball to deep. So they're gonna use his weaknesses. But I do think the Pats' offense is limited, and the Pats need to win like a 17-13 type of game.
Okay.
I don't think the Pats could get in a shootout with them.
I can't wait to talk about it.
If the 49ers do start scoring, they can score. That's the weird thing about the 49ers.
All right.
They score in bunches.
I'm gonna explain that. So, all right. So, the Patriots having limitations helps us. You know what I'm saying? Because we have both of our corners playing well. Mosley being back was huge last week, and now Jason Verrett. If we had a comeback player of the year, you know what I'm saying? That kid is playing lights out. You gotta figure he shut down Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods last week. He erased them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay, Verrett, you trying to play for a contract? You finally not injured. You back to that Pro Bowl level he was playing. Now, with Mostert gone, a lot of people don't know about this kid, JaMycal Hasty. JaMycal Hasty was out of Baylor, and we were hiding him on the practice squad because he's really good. He came in after Mostert got hurt and gave us a couple of big runs. He had I think 4 or 5 carries. He had 40, 50 something yards, and he can catch the ball. And he's got a little bit more wiggle and explosion than McKinnon right now, and he runs hard. So, I think Kyle Shanahan's kind of been waiting to feature this boy right now. So we're going to put him in. And I think we can offset losses in the running game with Debo and Ayuk running, the jet sweeps and stuff like that. So I think that we have enough athleticism and plus with the Kittle factor that we can probably win this game. And we usually, since Kaepernick, play pretty well up in New England. Because the last time we actually went to New England and played, with Kaepernick, we won and we beat them. Plus, I think
Kaepernick name dropped twice.
Plus I think that Garoppolo is really going to be up for this game because you're playing your old squad, you're playing your old coach, and you know what I'm saying. You got something to prove out here right now because everybody's like, blah 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 blah. I think we're gonna. I think the 49ers are. I think we're gonna win the game. I think the Patriots' limitations just help us.
Okay, that's great. We're gonna move along. I mean, it's not.
Don't get trolled today, Anthony. Don't let them troll you today.
Hey, Anthony, we're gonna talk about that. Listen. I gotta get Tyrone Hashton on the show, but Anthony. The man said you be running when your teams lose, bro.
I don't be running.
The man said you be quiet. I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna tag y'all later. I'm gonna tag both of y'all.
Tyrone.
I want to know who be running, yo.
Tyrone be running, man. He went go. Look, I'm gonna say this right here, and everybody knows it. We beat the Packers last year, Tyrone was gone from Facebook for a week. I'd have put a meme up to find him.
I will be inviting Tyrone Harrison on the show for next week. Let's
Next
see
week.
if he comes on.
Yes, sir.
Jaguars, Chargers.
All right, so you got two teams, right? The Jaguars have lost 5 in a row. The Chargers have lost 4 in a row. Each team has not won since week 1. I'm a big Anthony Lynn fan. I want them to turn it around because I'm afraid they'll fire him, and I don't think he deserves it. He is starting a rookie quarterback in Herbert, and I like Herbert a lot, man. He's been showing me a lot. So I'm going Chargers today at home at SoFi.
Chargers versus who?
The Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Yeah. Now I know they made bench Minshew and stuff like that. They're packing it in. The Jaguars are packing it in, and like Dwayne said, I hope Anthony Lynn doesn't get fired. It just goes back to like kind of what the NBA said is that, like, you know, in the NBA, I forgot who said it, but they was like the black coaches never get a chance to play, never get a chance to coach, like, you know, like kind of franchise changing players. And, you know, like I said, I've told you before that I've liked Herbert and what he can show. And he basically has shown that he has the ability to be a franchise quarterback and, you know, a top level starter. And it would be a shame if Anthony Lynn didn't get a chance to coach this boy like for you know, a full season, you know, plus a training camp, you know, and all that. So, you know, like I said, I'm going with the Chargers. I'm hoping that they don't fire Lynn because, you know, he made a lot of sacrifices, man. He actually, like, he liked Tyrod, and he actually said, like, you know, like, look, man, like, you know, it is what it is. It's a shame what happened to you, but we got to go with this boy Herbert, man. And, you know, he basically, I hope he doesn't sacrifice his position as a coach, you know, for this. And it would be a shame to see him gone.
Anthony Lynn is done in San Diego.
It's not fair though, man.
Anthony Lynn is a very good coach. He's a player's coach and he's a disciplinarian coach. Unfortunately, that franchise can't get out of their own way. The injuries alone should be a reason why he should come back after this season. But unfortunately, these type of coaches, these type of guys, don't coach well.
Say it clear. Steve Wilkes, Vance Joseph,
Steve Wilkes, Vance
Todd
Joseph.
Bowles,
It's almost
Anthony
crazy
Lynn,
because
there's a common trend right there.
Yeah,
Let's just say it like it is.
I'll say this: that if Will McClay gets that GM job in the Texans, and he don't hire Matt Eberflus, if he hires Anthony Lynn, and he goes down to the Texans, watch out. Because Anthony Lynn can coach. Anthony Lynn can coach. Anybody that don't think he can coach, go back to that job he did, that playoff game against San Diego and Baltimore, and what he did to minimize Lamar Jackson. That was a coaching masterpiece he put on. But for this game, I'm going to say the Chargers. Jacksonville, like we say, they're playing for the quarterback of next year. And the Chargers still got some fight in them. The Chargers is one of the most talented teams in the NFL. It's just still unfortunate the injury bug helped them, but hopefully Coach Lynn gets another chance. Seahawks Cardinals. This game got flexed into Monday night, and very interesting game. The Cardinals came off of an embarrassing display last week, but the Cardinals did not play well. A lot of people think the way they did Dallas was indicative of them. No, the way they did Dallas was indicative of how bad Dallas's defense played, because the man only completed 10 passes.
10 or 24.
He looked it bad. And a couple of those passes a couple of those plays he left on the table. You don't see certain teams get beat. The Seahawks, you can beat the Seahawks, you can score on the Seahawks, but if you notice with the Seahawks is you very rarely can throw deep against their cover three because their players know what position to be in. Unlike the Cowboys, when they play cover three, they let guys run. They let guys run right past them. So I really think that the Seahawks will dismantle the Cardinals and put them back in their place this week. Russell Wilson is MVP so far this year. He's playing great football. He probably has the two best wideout combination in the league that's underrated because I don't think most people understand how good DK Metcalf has came from last year. And every game you watch with Seattle, no matter who you are, Lockett is always doing something.
Yeah.
You could he may not show up if you look at receiving yards and receiving leaders, you'll never see Lockett. But if you watch the Seahawks games, Lockett is always up to his old tricks. And
he's the perfect quarterback. I mean, wide out for
Pete is a smart coach, and
Yeah.
One thing that Pete did 2 years ago, and I think it's paying off still now, is that Pete ran the football a lot the last 2 years. And now everybody's saying he's letting Russ cook, but at any given moment, they could go back to playing, the Schottenheimer way of football because you know who the offensive coordinator is. So I really like the Seahawks in this game, and I think that they're going to just demolish the Cardinals. I mean, demolish them.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Like I said, that's in my division. So a Cardinals loss helps me anyway. But like I said, I think everybody got on the Cardinals hype train early. They saw Merck Kyler running around, making plays, DeAndre, whatever, but they still have big problems. Their defense isn't good. It's not good. And it's been shown that you can bottle up Kyler at times, and he's still only a second-year guy. He's a second-year guy, so he's still learning as well. As for the Seahawks, like I said, Russell Wilson's been playing lights out. The MVP level, lights out. 5 touchdowns a game. He had a bad game. They had a bad game last week, but every team has those type of games. They still fought through it and found a way to win. So you can't fault them. And like you said before, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, man. Like I'm still kind of sore. Like I like Debo, but I'm like, damn, like you as a coach and as a player, I'm just like. You didn't see that? Like you didn't you know what I'm saying? You didn't see a 6'4", 240-pound beast that can run a 4.3. Like you didn't want to give that a chance. Like you have to get that. You have to take a flyer on that. But but now he's with Russ, and you see what they're doing right now. And like you said, Pete Carroll is a great coach. He's a great coach. And he always has his guys ready to play. He always has his guys in position to win. So I can't go against them, and I as a 49er fan, I hate the Seahawks. I hate to see them do good, but I can't discount it, man. I can't discount it. They're like a juggernaut right now. They're doing very well. So yeah, Seahawks.
Is that a Dwayne? Is that that's a Julius Jones jersey?
No, that's a Zeke throwback, bro. That's a Zeke throwback. But on this game, man, I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. I know it was against the Cowboys last week, but Vance Joseph had his defense flying around last week. He made Buda Baker a Week 6 star. Patrick Peterson still on that other side. I like some of the blitz concepts they had going last week. I believe that Carson has to get that run game going because if he doesn't, then they're just going to come out and they're just going to blitz it. But, little future stepdaddy going to cook, man. He been cooking all year. I think it's going to be a close one Sunday night. I think the Seahawks pull it out. And I think you're looking at like a 4 to 3 point game for the Seahawks.
And as usual, it's crazy is that with the COVID thing, is that we had been getting used to these 2 Monday night games and a Tuesday game. And I think that the NFL, like Dwayne said earlier this week, the NFL might have struck on something because them 2 Monday night games or that game on Tuesday actually was really well. The New York drive time, you get a game at that 5 o'clock hour. And I think that the game last week in Buffalo, Kansas City, actually really did good ratings wise.
Yeah, I think the NFL really needs to consider scrapping that Thursday game and doing double headers on Monday, man. That's it. I'm missing it this Monday. That this only one game.
So this big Monday night football
you
game,
2-game Mondays, huh?
yeah,
Yeah,
this
man.
we got a huge one this Monday. Very interesting game. Chicago and the Rams. Very interesting. This game could get wrecked by Khalil Mack quickly, or it could be an interesting game. I don't know. It's hard for me to pick. As good as Chicago is, Chicago's defense is really good. Chicago, like I said, when you have a good defense, once they start getting in 2, 3 turnovers a game, they turn into special. Um, but I just don't. I don't trust Chicago's offense enough to win a big road game. That's one of the biggest things for me when you have these teams like this is does your offense travel? And I don't see Chicago's offense traveling. On the other side, I do know that the Rams defense, what they have on the front line, that one player can destroy your whole game plan. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen a defensive tackle as good as him. As much for people would say, and I remember Jerome Brown well. I was a Jerome Brown fan in college.
Jerome Brown,
I
Miami.
remember Cortez. I remember Warren Sapp.
Kennedy.
I don't remember a defensive tackle like this. This is
Yeah.
not a defensive end. This defensive tackle is not normal.
You know who he reminds me of though? He reminds me of a way better because we both are around the same size, like a way better version of John Randall. Like, remember how John Randall was undersized? He was undersized, but he was just good as hell. he was just good. He just would get in, man.
This is something. I'm
But-
not taking nothing away from the Hall of Famer Randall, but
listen,
this guy is something. So it's hard for me to pick this game. I mean, but I have to go with the home team and the Rams. I think the Rams will do just enough to beat them. So Chicago's offense. I just don't. When you have problems scoring and then you got to go on the road, it's really like twice as hard.
yeah, Chicago's offense isn't it? But last week, like I said, Shanahan showed how you can contain Randall because, like I was saying before, and it's crazy. It's not Daniel Brunskill, but it's another guy. I forget one of our other linemen, right? He just knows how to play against Aaron Donald. Like every year, it happened last year. He played against them and did well. This year, the same thing. Like, it's just you beat Donald with the quick passing game and running the ball. That's how you neutralize them. Quick passing game, screens, short dumps, get it to your tight ends, get it to your running backs. That's how you negate them. You know what I'm saying? But hey, every time if you drop back or you're in that shotgun, he's coming for that. He's coming for you. But that's how you take Donald off the field. Short passes, games. I think they're gonna look at that 49ers game last week, the coach, and they're gonna just be like, "Hey, this is what we have to do." To stop him. And then same thing with Goff. Goff threw some awful passes in the 49ers game last week. If you get pressure on him, he folds like a wet blanket. And he throws some horrible passes. I was like, oh my God. Like, you're lucky you have Woods and Cup over there to make you look good because he was throwing some ducks and throwing to no areas and short arming and stuff like that. So I think the Rams, I think they're beatable. I think, if who's the quarterback of the Bears right now? I forget.
Nick Foles.
If Foles, like I said, if Foles has a halfway decent game, they could win it. They could definitely win it. But I like I said, I don't know, man. I'm just not sold on the Rams. I think the Bears could play enough defense, keep it close, and then I think Foles can win the game. So I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Yeah, I think the Bears are the most disrespected 5-1 team in the league. I think they play good defense. I think Nick Foles does just enough, and I like the Bears to win and so far on Monday night. So I'm going with the Chicago Bears for my man Pat because he ain't here. So I'm gonna do it for him. Bears move to 6-1.
One of the things that we discussed before we hit the air was the Titans, and we talked about the Titans totally disregard for the COVID, and they had these practices and they put the team at risk, and they were actually the first team that made the NFL start changing their schedule around. I think that $350,000 was not enough. I know it sounds crazy. I may be saying this, but you know, we got to understand that COVID is here. It's not going nowhere, and players um, or celebrities should be held, or as we might say, we should think they should be held at a higher standard. And the way that the Titans did it as professional football players was unnecessary. They gave no regard for the COVID protocols. 350 things. So they got fined $350,000 by the NFL. And then we have the Giants. The Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones was spotted in a bar. No mask, not practicing social distancing. And what people don't realize is that I need to say this in case nobody knows. The players can't even hang out with each other during social distancing. So even if they would have been with each other, they would have had to practice social distancing. If they'd have been with the Giants in a Giants, if it's at a player's house or whatever, they have to still practice the protocols that the NFL put out. And they were spotted in a bar. You know, everybody has a camera. You know, somebody had to put the camera up to be seen, get their 10 minutes of fame, sold it to probably RLS or NJ.com, and now they're under investigation. And we know that the NFL is 9 to 10 going to find the Giants as well. So, what are you guys' thoughts about these players and these, not the teams, because I don't want to say it's the teams, the players doing this stuff and not realizing how serious it is, and putting everything at risk because they're not practicing social distancing.
So, like, I think the fine should have been bigger. You know what I'm saying? Only because it's like blatant. It's like, it's just blatant, man. It's just like, damn, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're putting everybody at risk. We won a football season, and it's hard enough, like, getting these guys to follow the rules, and you just do something blatant, man. It's like, damn, like, come on, man. Like I understand you're trying to get out and you're trying to do things, but you're in the limelight and the spotlight, so it's certain things you can't do. Saquon, it's like you already hurt. You know what I'm saying? Giants fans already in their feelings because you getting hurt and stuff like that, and everything going on with there. So it's just like a cluster. It's just like a cluster F, man. It's a cluster fuck, man. It's like, come on, man. You were one of the first teams to get shut down for COVID, and then now we know the reason why, because you're holding secret practices and stuff like that. So now you're making everything hot, man. You're making everything hot for everybody else. Who knows who else is throwing secret practices, man? And I want a football season. We in week 7, man. I don't want to come out, they just be like, the rest of the season's canceled because y'all don't know how to act. Like, so that's just my thoughts on it, man. I'm just like, come on, guys. They got to do better.
Hey, Dwayne, make sure you add Tyrone Harrison to that thread. I forgot how to do it.
Okay, I will.
Yes, we want to get him in there next week, and
two things I want to.
Him and Anthony can go at it.
I want to address.
You want some controversy? You're gonna be talking about all kinds of stuff, man.
I want to address this COVID situation, and there's one last thing I would like to address if you give me the platform to address it, Mr. Ford. The COVID thing, I just think, as a society, we got to be doing a little bit better. Not just these NFL players. As we can see, the numbers are increasing. We let our guard down a little bit, which is normal, man. We've been at this thing since March. So I just want NFL players to be smart about what they're doing. But again, you see stuff on IG, you see stuff on Facebook. where there's just regular people, man, that's in these bars and everything like that, not really social distancing, not really wearing their masks, and we gotta stay diligent and we gotta stay safe, you know. But we all love football. We know that the season goes fast, man. Look, we're in week 7 already. It just feel like the season just started. That's what's the greatness about the NFL and about football. It's here and then it's gone. So we need to enjoy it as much as we can. I don't know how you're wrapping the show, bro, but if I could just, this is a football review show, so it's not just,
No,
pros
I know
we're
you.
talking about.
I know you want to talk about the 7-on-7 most likely.
No. What I would like to talk about, and that's a big event too that I put up there for Kim, and hopefully they're gonna get people to. I shared it on my pages, and hopefully they can get people to donate. Gently worn clothes, and I know a lot of people do 7-on-7s now, so hopefully they'll get good support. But I just wanted to make note. We know the Big Ten came back yesterday, and something very significant happened last night that's not getting a lot of publicity in the mainstream media, and I think it should. Not because they're my favorite team and they won, but the Michigan-Minnesota game last night was a primetime game on ABC in Minnesota. And it was the first major Power 5 college football game that was officiated, handled in the replay booth. The whole show was handled by African Americans. Every official on the field, clock operator, replay people. They had African American young lady who was a side judge, and it was a very well played game. It was well officiated, and I just think we need to make note of that. I just say kudos to them. They did a great job, and hopefully they get acknowledgement for what they did last night.
Did they do that to Dwayne in honor of George Floyd?
They just did it for equality. They also had Kevin Warner there, who's the new president of the Big Ten. He's also African American. And, I just think it was a great, great thing. And it's just, you're not hearing about it today, which is very, very interesting to me. But I thought they did a very, very good job.
With that, we're going to close the show.
Wait a minute, real quick. What's up with the 7-on-7?
If you look at my page, we'll talk offline on that.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think we're going to get Kim on the show, Dwayne, one of these days.
Yeah, just to talk about it.
Yeah.
My company will definitely donate. We'll definitely donate.
See, there you go, Dwayne. Got us some donations.
Yes, sir.
But with that, we're going to close the show. Great football today. Great games on the docket, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. With that, have a blessed Sunday.